What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Geeks Around. My name is Deanna Jackson. I'm your executive producer. We are, of course, here to discuss episode 405 of Game of Thrones. First of his name. It was actually a pretty good episode. Before we get into it, let's go ahead and get to the rest of the panel. Matt, what do you think of this of this week's episode?
From what I can tell from the comments, because I read the comments, this was more a filler episode than the other ones were. But for me, I actually enjoyed it because I didn't see it as a filler episode because I guess, well, I haven't read the books. I don't know. I really liked it, and I didn't consider it a filler episode as much as the last two, which technically this was the filler episode and the last two weren't. So I don't know. It's kind of strange.
Yeah, I'm kind of there with you. How about you, Isaiah? What did you think?
I agree with Matt. I did like the episode, and to me it was a little bit filler, but it had a lot of key elements and key story elements I really did like a lot, even Littlefinger. So I wouldn't say it's a filler in my book. It was actually a very interesting, very compelling story.
Yeah, definitely. I 100% agree with that. Well, first things first, it's like, all hail King Tommen Baratheon. Long live the king.
Yes, the good king, not the
Yay!
king.
This means the Lannisters are not going to be assholes anymore, right?
Ah, you're right.
That's exactly what it means. Although, it's like, I do have to admit, it's like I was surprised to see Cersei and Marjorie kind of getting along,
I
kind
know,
of.
right? That was
Yeah.
weird. Are they getting along? This is so scary.
Yeah, it's like I actually had to watch that scene a couple of times because I'm like, is there a nuance or a threat that I'm missing here? Because this is like Cersei being honest, and I don't know how to process that.
No.
Well,
I don't think that's the case at all.
Well,
No,
I think
that's a game of shadow chess.
What do you mean?
but
I think that Cersei knows exactly what's going on, and she's okay with it. I think she realizes that Marjorie is a little underhanded, much more underhanded than she had given him credit for. I think Cersei's starting to realize that, but I think she's okay with it.
right. And that's fine too because this new king, her other son, he's not looking like Joffrey. Remember, Joffrey's uncontrollable. He's very controllable, and pretty much he's too kind to just be part of the throne. So they're kind of like a mutual agreement. Like they'll look after him in this whole sense of a way.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose so. It was like, and plus, besides this point, with the Lannister bank account looking like, well, my bank account,
Yeah.
they kind of need Marjorie and the Iron Bank at this point. So a link between the two of them is still going to be a very, very good thing for the Lannisters.
Yeah, they need that currency. They're
Yeah,
fucking
and,
poor.
and before we got to that, in that conversation she was having with Marjorie, though, we actually got Cersei admitting something that Cersei would not necessarily admit to just any other person, like
Right.
any old person, and that is Joffrey was a bad person. Like,
No shit.
Cersei has expressed that in the past, but to people within her own circle. So this is kind of her accepting Marjorie into her own circle.
Yeah, that was the
Very bad,
honesty I was
yeah.
talking about earlier. It's like, I mean, because for her to come out and openly just come admit basically that her son was a monster
A little pissed at.
who did things that shocked even her.
Yeah.
And this is Cersei's like, I mean, Cersei ain't the kindest motherfucker on the planet, but Joffrey surprised her.
Yeah, surprised everyone, really. Like, literally everyone. Like, he's such a douche. Like, god damn, dude.
And it kind of made me wonder exactly what are Cersei's goals at this point. I mean, before her goals, of course, was to protect her son and despite himself, and to not get married to that other Tully, the gay Tully. Like, those were her goals. But now that Joffrey's gone, I think she's kind of her oldest son, which is Tommen. I think she's kind of leaving that to Marjorie. And that's just it, is Marjorie kind of set herself up as the counter to Cersei, and Cersei's not fighting back.
Right.
And I don't know that will hold. I don't know that that's a center that will hold. I think that they might come to a head at some point. But right now, either Cersei doesn't know that there's a fight going on, or Cersei does know and she's playing it very, very well.
Yeah, because it's going to be very hard now for Lannisters to actually do anything much, because like Deanna said, their bank account is pretty much shit, and they need this house to pretty much support them. So there's
Yeah,
gonna be
Cersei didn't know that at the time, though.
right. But it's gonna be a different type of war now. It's gonna be like with armies. It's gonna be with money and pretty much like persuasion. It's gonna be like that type of war, mind games war, instead of this brute strength war.
Yeah, definitely. But it's a shame. It's like, I mean, hey, I don't know how Lannister is always going to pay their debts if that gold mine just ran dry.
Right.
Well, you know what the United States discovered a little while ago during the Great Depression is war makes money.
That is true. Very, very true.
That's that is very true. It's like, I mean, so how do you suppose that's going to play out? It's like, I mean, who would they be going to war with?
Not a lot of people.
That's just it. I mean, I don't want to jump ahead, but we do have a certain contender that just kind of went, oh, well, maybe we should start a war, and then she decided, you know what, it's better if I stay here.
Oh, well, let's go ahead and skip to that.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't like her storyline, sad to say. It's kind of blah.
Well, it actually makes sense to me.
Daenerys?
What?
We're never going to see her naked again.
I know. Don't remind me.
Well, you guys always have the reruns.
Yes, I was going to say, sorry, that collar she was wearing today, I just thought it was, the outfit, the whole outfit was hot.
Yeah, it was. But again, I know what you're saying, Deanna. It wasn't. I mean, it makes perfect sense, but I mean, compared to her storyline and everyone else's, hers is kind of like a little bit weaker. A little bit weaker.
No, I don't think so at all.
No, I gotta disagree.
Well, to me, it is weak.
I think that her storyline.
To you, Cersei, you still think Cersei might have had a hand in killing Jon?
Hey! You never know, okay? This is whole illusion. You never know.
We do know. You say we never know, except we do know. We know.
You never know that part. It could be a ruse. You never know, man. It could be a fucking ruse. You never know.
Except for the fact that absolutely everybody responsible has fully admitted it.
Yeah, but come on, you never know. It could be more between the sequence. You never know.
I wish Charles was on here. He's the closest one of us to Isaiah. I think Charles needs some money, and I think we're pretty sure we can send Charles out to kill Isaiah with enough money.
Maybe so.
I think Deanna froze on us. So
I think he did. So going into the whole.
So my thought is Daenerys. That particular storyline is actually probably the second most solid storyline behind the Lannisters themselves. The Lannisters themselves may have the most compelling storyline currently, and then quickly followed by Daenerys.
Well, I know what you're saying too. I think it is a very strong storyline, but we see lack of conflict with when she goes to like the last week's episode. We saw no conflict with that, no big conflict. Her story is pretty much. I mean, there's conflict, but there's so little conflict that you sometimes don't notice until you watch it the second time. And again, I still like her. I mean, she's still an awesome character, and her planning is really smart too. She's actually taking her time not to go out things and just start causing a lot of shit and mayhem because. We heard news that the slaves that she freed are back in slavery again, which is really disheartening to hear.
And that's actually kind of interesting because I mean I think she's supposed to be like 16 years old or some crap like that, yeah, and yet she's making these very very mature decisions. She's not going to Blackwater Bay, even though she might have enough to kill these people. She very easily made the decision that she was going to protect what she had now before going for something that she might want in the future. I mean, she's making these very mature decisions, right. And her character supposedly is supposed to be very, very young.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's like, and I think that's the best decision she could possibly make at this point. It's like because it's like before she goes over to King's Landing to try to rule over 7 kingdoms, it's like she might want to go ahead and try dealing with the ones that she has already, the ones that she's conquered and have now been reconquered in her wake.
Now she's got what, 3 kingdoms now? She's got the city, then she's got the Unsullied where the Unsullied was, and then she has the city in which she first was in season 2. That stole her fucking dragons, right? Those are her 3, or is there one more I'm not thinking of?
No, it's just Astapor, Yunkai, and Marine, which is where she is now.
Okay.
But however, she is.
Yunkai is where it's where she picked up the Unsullied.
Okay.
Okay.
But she did lose some territory though, because some people went back to slavery, and the masters somewhat did come back. They said. So she's kind of lost some territory. So she needs to pretty much rebuild her structure and get those people back on her side again. So she needs to plan more and pretty much needs a lot of manpower to take down King's Landing. So it was kind of smart of her path to actually wait and sit it out.
And that's a question: is if you were born a slave,
Mm-hmm.
and then you actually got the taste of freedom, would you allow yourself to be made a slave again, or would you die in the process?
I would die in the process.
Would you fight until you died, even if there were 100 of them and one of you? Would you just say, "Fuck this, I'd rather be dead"?
Yeah, but for people in their case, I can see it why. It's kind of human nature, because when you've been like a slave for so long, what else can you do if you become free? People will go back to slavery because they don't know what to do with their lives. They have no purpose, sad to say. So it did make sense, but it was still disheartening to know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Exactly, you never know. Thank you.
And to be honest, we have a lot of backup for exactly what Isaiah was saying right there. Is in our own history, after the Emancipation Proclamation, a lot of slaves went back to their own owners and just started working for their owners.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's like...
Yeah, because that's like the only life they knew.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, you have someone that's been a slave forever and give them freedom. It's like, that's not enough. It's like, okay, you're free, but now it's a question of, now what? It's like, you have a person that's free that's never been free before. They have no fucking clue what they're supposed to do now. Before everything was ordered. It's like, I mean, their day was simple. Follow orders. Do this, do this, do this, do this. Now it's like, okay, I can do whatever I want. So, what do I want?
Get a job?
I want to get back to that later, because I had a question cross my brain when we were in a different storyline, but we're not there yet. So
Okay.
I'll remember it.
Well, what storyline is that? Let's jump to it.
Beyond the Wall, Caster's Keep.
Oh.
Go for it.
My thought is Hodor. Like, Hodor in the last episode was being mocked because of the fact that he was a quote-unquote idiot, is the phrase that they used today. And this is not a question for the panel. This is not a question for the audience. This is just a question that crossed my brain. Is would I rather be Hodor, whose life is simple, and you just do what you're told by the people who care for you? Or would you rather be Tyrion, who can think circles around everyone around him, but the people he cares about doesn't give a shit about him? Like, which of those two people would you rather be?
That's a hard one. That's very, very hard.
Well, for me, that's easy. Tyrion.
Yeah, I have to go with Tyrion. Because saying Hodor would drive me insane. Like, Hodor, oh god.
You're already insane.
Well, that's true, too. I don't know if that's like even more
Because
insane.
you never know. That's why you're
Exactly.
insane. That is like the catchphrase of your insanity.
Exactly, you never know.
I don't
It's so
know.
good.
Bombs bouncing around in my head, but you never know. They don't look like there's ants crawling on me, but you never know.
Exactly.
That's
See, folks are actually catching on to my lingo now. Finally.
Yeah. Yeah, all we have to do is accept that you're insane.
Exactly.
Now it's like I completely accept.
Isaiah, what color is this guy?
Yeah, you don't know. Because I don't know, because you never know.
Okay.
See? that just makes the point. Right there. It's like occasionally it's like I'm gonna keep bringing the Sanshi thing up. It'll be like fucking season 6, and he'll still be like, it could have all been a ruse.
Exactly. You never know. You never know.
Yeah, except that we actually do know, because it
It
was.
could be a bigger ruse. It could be the biggest ruse ever.
Yeah, let's be fair. It could be Isaiah that is actually writing the books Game of Thrones. It's very possible.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. Exactly, folks. You never know. The black guy writing the books.
Oh, good God. But speaking of events beyond the wall, it's like, I really, really thought that we would have finally a Jon and Bran reunion.
Yeah, I thought so as well.
And I was kind of disappointed that didn't happen.
Yeah. And it gave us a BS reason, too.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, well, I'm happy that they were able to, with the distraction that John and his men were providing, were able to find a way to escape themselves.
Right.
That did make me happy, but just, I don't know, it's like I just really wanted to see a reunion there.
Yeah, same here. I did want to see a reunion, because I was still a bit tired of seeing the Stark family be spread out. I want someone to come together and be like, hey, brother, hey, sister, or anyone, please come together and be with that family unit. It's getting a little bit tiresome now.
Yeah.
What I liked about this particular section of the show is that we ended up killing off 2 major bad guys.
Yep.
2.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The one who was running Caster's Keep, and then the Ranger who was gonna try and kill Jon Snow later on.
Yeah, it's Locke.
Got rid of both of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very simple.
Yeah, I like Locke though. He was kind of a cool character until you're like, oh man, I like that guy. Oh well, you never know what might happen next. He might come back as a White Walker. You never know.
I'm just saying, this is not the first show I've had where Locke was the Man in Black. Like before.
I was actually thinking that too, seeing this. But I will say that other Locke survived a lot longer than this Locke.
Yes.
Right.
But this one kind of expiration date stamped on his forehead, and Bronn through Hodor definitely punched that clock.
Right.
Yeah, and that's just it. I was kind of surprised that Hodor reacted the way he did, because
really?
when he kind of okay, for background, basically, dude was going to rape the girl whose name I don't remember.
Mira.
Then they get attacked. Huh?
Mira.
Thank you. And then they get attacked, which thankfully ends up stalling, and that guy dies with Jon Snow. That actually happened later, but then Locke ends up being out there. Was it Locke that ended up? Was it Hodor that killed Locke?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Basically, Bran ends up controlling Hodor.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's right. Locke came in, and the Locke's all like, "Yeah, we don't give a fuck about any of you.
Right.
You're all gonna die. Bran, you're coming with me." And
because the goal was like, I mean, he wanted to kill Bronn anyway.
Yeah. And so Bran ends up taking.
He kill more of Stark family.
And Hodor just fucking snaps his neck like it's a fucking yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not really Hodor though. It's actually one who's controlling him who killed him. So it's not really Hodor. He wasn't really conscious of actually killing someone. It was actually just.
You are correct.
Brandon,
However, that's not how Hodor took it. Hodor, after the fact, he looked at his hands and he looked at the body and looked at his hands and he's all like, "Oh fuck! What just happened?"
Mm-hmm.
He does not realize. He does not realize that he was being controlled. He probably does not have the ability to realize that he was being controlled.
Yeah, which is actually probably why he can be controlled.
Yeah, exactly.
So easily. He's Hodor.
I mean, he literally, as far as he's concerned, this guy died in his hands. And he just maybe blacked out for it or whatever.
Yeah, that's exactly how I took it. What were you saying, Isaiah?
Yeah, but Hodor again, he's really, intelligence, but I understand what he's talking about, because he's morally guided in being smart. He's actually guided by his heart. Oh my god, I killed someone. And it's kind of messed up that he didn't say, I did it, I helped you kill him. Just gonna skip that part? Okay, moving on.
Well, yeah, there's a little point in trying to explain that to Hodor. Even if Bronn would have noticed his distress, which I'm not even altogether certain that he did.
He didn't at all. He didn't give a fuck. No, we gotta get the hell out of here now. Okay.
That's just it. I don't know that it's. While I think it affected Hodor very much in the immediate, I don't know if it's going to affect him in the long run. I think it's going to be like, oh yeah, it's that thing I did that one time.
Right.
Yeah, if it even gets to that point.
Yeah. It won't.
It's I think with Hodor is kind of out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, we do not know if this guy has anything close to what is considered long-term memory.
He doesn't. I bet you money he doesn't. If he's so easy to control,
you never know.
Exactly, you never know. Exactly. But then again, Hodor has bad memory. if he ate a sandwich, you say, "Huh, wish I had a sandwich." Oh, wait, I already had a sandwich. Oh, never mind then. Wish I had a sandwich. Hold on, we've been over this like 5 million times already. You already had a sandwich. Really? Oh, wish I had a sandwich, and that whole thing goes in a big old cycle. And yes, so that made no sense.
My thought
at least you acknowledge that without having to have that told to you. You and your analogies.
My thought is
right?
that Hodor actually cares for these people because these people care for him.
Right.
Yes.
If someone else were to care for him, and Bran and company were just to be like, "Have a good day, Hodor," and then move on to themselves, Hodor would be just as loyal to whomever else was nice to him, no matter what their loyalties are. It could be it could be Tywin Lannister. Tywin Lannister would be like, "Hey, this is a good guy. Let's hang out with this guy. This guy's my buddy, my pal. Let's go kill some people." And Hodor would be like, "Hodor."
Exactly. He's like a
totally
goldfish.
That'd be it.
He's like a goldfish, really.
Yeah. It's like Bronn has a sandwich and Hodor is hungry, so he follows Bronn because he has a sandwich. But it's like, you can eat that sandwich, and there could be another sandwich someone else has, and then Hodor could want that one, and then he goes for that one because he's hungry and wants a sandwich.
Exactly. You see what I mean? You're catching on to the lingo. See, I'm proud of you right now. I'm proud of you. You're catching on to that lingo.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Deanna, just so you know, on our regular Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Episodes, this is when we start to block Isaiah from the podcast. I don't know if you've seen that time and time again, but Andy's already muted him 4 times at this point.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, Isaiah, seriously, I think he has a macro to unmute himself. I'm pretty sure. We can't mute him for more than a second. It's just not possible.
Well, Charles is easy to do. For me, no. I keep talking until I'm done.
Y'all are hilarious.
Let me see, what else do we have in that? Apparently, dude has a thing for curly-haired 12-year-olds.
Yeah, that was sick.
Which is a little disgusting.
Yes.
Well, hopefully he also has a thing for swords being shoved through the back of his head.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was awesome, actually. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah,
but
that was pretty good.
Jeez, Jon Snow could not save his own fucking life. But geez, Jon Snow, can you do a little bit better?
No, that's
I was surprised Jon Snow was getting his ass kicked by this dude.
He got knives for God's sake.
He explained it. Is he's all like, you know what? You learned how to fight in a castle. I learned how to fight in real life. Let's see who wins.
Real life.
Yeah. And
So
that makes sense to me.
It did, but jeez, these guys ass handed to him.
Yeah. It's like, Carl was totally about to kill him, and then it's like, yay, here comes one of Craster's wives with the knife to the back, giving Jon the opportunity that he needed.
Right. So he didn't really win that fight by himself.
No, he would have absolutely lost that fight if it hadn't been for that.
Yeah. So
Carl's dead. Jon's not.
Yeah.
Tomato. I'm gonna go ahead and declare a winner here.
Right. This is why I call it Jon Snow
The
screw up.
bottom line is that Carl's dead and Jon Snow is alive.
I know. Ironically, yay.
There's absolutely nothing ironic about that. But moving on.
Yes.
So, and then let me see. And then the ladies, decide basically to kill themselves rather than go with the Men in Black.
Really? That was really confusing dialogue.
Pretty much. I mean, seriously, they went, yeah, we're not going with you, and you know what? Our home, I want you to burn our home. So we're just going to wander around the woods on our own because we don't want men around us anymore. Basically, is what they said.
Well, then again, you have to look at their own perspective. They were abused, heavily abused by the guy who was actually owned the place, and then the crows. So pretty much they have no faith or any trust in humanity. So why would you care anymore? Why would you care?
That still doesn't mean let's wander the woods.
Again, that hurts.
That still does not translate to let's wander the woods.
Actually, it kind of does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Maybe.
You know how?
You know what? You know what? You guys owe us something. How about you build us a house 1.5 miles down the road, and then leave us? That makes sense to me.
They don't trust them. Why would they trust them? They don't
leave
trust no one.
here for the fucking dire wolves and White Walkers.
Yeah.
That's not a good answer.
What's their purpose, though? What is their purpose? What is their ultimate purpose? There's no purpose for them. Like a slave, they have no purpose.
As far as purposes go, I think not being dead would rank pretty high up on someone's list of priorities.
Yeah.
Not for them. Really, not for them. It was like, again, they have really no purpose. They've been with this guy for like how long now? And they with the crows for how long? Exactly. It's like they got nothing else. They got no skills. They got no one to actually go. To
be fair, it was not all the crows that fucking did bad things to them. It was a very select crow. It was a very select group of people.
Just the fake crows. How about that? The fake crows.
All of them are fake crows. Every single crow is fake. Every single one. You think any of those people actually follow their vows? No.
Hell no.
Like they addressed that a couple weeks ago. Like every single one of them goes down to the whorehouses down in town. Every single one of them.
Yeah,
there are no real crows.
Yeah,
exactly. But like, I mean, it's like you got to remember, it's like the days of the Night Watch being this honorable organization protecting the Seven Kingdoms from the threats beyond the wall. That day is dead and gone. That day died a long time before the show even fucking started.
Yeah, died with Ned Stark, really.
And more than likely hundreds of years ago, at least 100 years ago.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, because out of all the castles that there are along the wall, and it's like the Night's Watch had like several of them, there are only 3 that are still active. 3, including Castle Black.
Wow. For the time being, though. For the time being.
And I believe Castle Black is the largest of them, with like a couple hundred people. Where once upon a time the Black was tens of thousands.
Well, it's the one with the most. It's the one with the most men.
Yeah.
Physically, it's not the largest, but.
Well, that's what I meant is the most men. But yeah. As I was talking men in that particular sentence.
Wait. So why is it Castle Black? It should be Castle White or Castle Blue. Why gotta be black?
Because they wear black, you moron.
But you don't see no black people. Where's the black people at?
There's no black people in this show except on the other side of the narrow sea. We've talked about this.
See, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. Why call it Castle Black with no black people? Like, so where's the black people?
You do understand black people are not actually black, right?
Shush. Don't ruin the fun here. Anyways, where is the black people? I mean, you got no slaves or a black? No? Oh, okay. That's too much for you? Okay. But
okay, so we're gonna move on, and
Thank you.
Jesus Christ.
So I found a way to actually do that when someone else is in the. I found a way to do that when someone else is running the show. All I have to do is join the hangout as Geeks of the Round, just like you do in the Agents of the S.H.I.E.L.D. ones. And then you have complete control as much as they do.
Yeah.
Why you do something about me? Because I was running out of jokes there.
Isaiah, I have a strange revelation for you. You do understand that white people are also not white, right?
I know.
Okay, and black people are not actually black?
But come on, what was the fun in that? Exactly, you never know. So where's the fun in that? Where is the fun in that?
No.
Hey, well, what's the fun in that? I can't do it.
All right. So meanwhile, in the Riverlands, we have the further adventures of Arya and the Hound.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was some fucking insane shit. So she's reading off like the people that she has to kill. And then she turns her back to the Hound and then calls out his name.
Yeah, like
yeah.
It was like her. She also said his brother too, the Mountain, and it was really cool dialogue too. How he talked about his brother, like he would like to kill his brother. Well, I don't know if it was actually really said, but he would like scratch his brother's off. I mean, scratch his brother's name off his list as well. So that was a really interesting dialogue they had.
And that was an interesting dialogue. It still was big ass fucking brass balls. To basically say, you know what, you're on my list of people I need to kill.
Right, like, really, girl? You really want to say that in front of
and do it with your back turned to him. It's like, and just like, at this point, it's like you have to understand that the Hound is pretty much the most dangerous person within 10 miles of where Arya is laying at this point.
Right.
I have to say at least much more than 10 miles.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, there's not a lot of people in the entire Seven Kingdoms who can take out the Hound.
What about his brother?
There's maybe 4 or 5 people that can take the Hound.
Oh, and here we should mention Arya is not one of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Just putting that out there.
Yeah, she's not one of them.
As we saw a little later.
Yeah, it's like that's why it was funny. It's like when she was doing her training and whatnot, and the Hound was
cool,
making fun of her until I was like, you know what, try it. It's like, yeah. Go away.
But, it was talking about a legend too. Like she said, he was a great swordsman, but the Hound said no, he wasn't. He was an idiot. He had a stick. Okay, the guy had a big fucking sword and he had armor. So your friend was still stupid.
Yeah, it was just made fun of that entirely.
I wonder if we're going to end up having that eventually. Is at one point Arya just being like, okay, here, I'll make you a deal. I'll take you off my list if you actually teach me how to use a sword.
Oh, that'd be so awesome. I'd love to see that.
If you teach me how to use a sword, I promise I won't kill you. This little 12-year-old girl, I promise not to kill you if you actually teach me how to fight.
Yeah. Because I know you were worried about that whole me killing you thing, but yeah, that totally won't happen as long as you teach me how to kill you.
No, you have to assume she is a woman of her word, and you have to assume that he believes that she's a woman of her word.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, seriously, it's like, yeah, this.
I mean, it was just took a lot of balls, though. A lot of balls to actually say, you want to kill the Hound. Wow, he's right behind you. Like, you know he can kill you, too, in your sleep, right? This is looking at it now. But it's going to be really interesting what happens after that. Because she might change her heart. I highly doubt that, though.
No, I don't think she changes her mind.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to
I don't think that is a defining trait of Arya Stark.
Oh, also, we forgot.
Might negotiate a deal, but I don't think she's all of a sudden going to go, you know what, you're a cool guy. Right. I'm not going to kill you anymore. I don't think that's her.
Yeah, but also we forgot to say, Arya doesn't know that Joffrey's dead.
No, she does not.
That's true.
And she put him on her list. It's like, you don't have to put him on your list. And then I remember, like, they're in the forest so long that, okay, then that makes perfect sense because they don't know Joffrey's actually dead. So that's really cool to actually know that detail's in play.
Now, are we done with that? Can we get into the creepy territory?
Go for
Which
it.
Is?
The creepy storyline? And the Airy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got Lisa, or whatever her fucking name is.
Yeah, who cares?
The younger sister of Catelyn Stark, / Catelyn Tully, / whatever.
Who gives a fuck.
I don't think we've seen her. It's been a while since we've seen her. It was either season 1 or 2?
2, I think.
Oh, yeah,
I think it was early season 2 because she was fucking Well, first off, Ed Stark was dead.
Right.
Yeah. So
and she was breastfeeding her son.
Mm-hmm.
Whose name in the books is Robert, but in the TV show is Robin.
Yep.
Same difference, though.
I mean, at least they did not make us deal with that.
Yes.
That is one crazy-ass fucking woman.
Yes, it is. Oh, my God, was she crazy.
It was like, we all knew she was crazy. Sansa kind of had to find that out the hard way.
I felt bad for her, too. Like, okay, this woman is crazy. I need to get the fuck out of here now. Like, okay, it's time for me to leave.
It's like, I mean, like, Sansa is in a better situation now than she was in King's Landing, but not by a whole lot.
No, she always has bad luck. Like, damn, can she just relax and have some good luck for once? Like, damn, she keeps getting bad luck 24/7.
Yeah. It's like,
she's
stuck in a situation where she's going to have to marry someone she doesn't want to marry.
Right.
And instead of having some evil bitch overloading over her, she has a crazy bitch, which is...
not better.
It was like some...
Not better.
Was that her brother, too? Was that her brother? Because,
no, that's just it. Is she has been... Sansa, in this storyline, has been told, you know what, you're going to marry your nephew.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
your aunt's, or that's nephew, right? Or is that a cousin?
No, that's
aunt's son.
Right.
Cousin.
I think that's cousin, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna make you marry your cousin, whether you want to or not. And by the way, he was sucking on my tit 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, have fun with
You're
that.
okay with that, right? Like,
Yeah, if you smell breast milk on his mouth, then there's a reason why. But yeah, she's really crazy. And then the boy keeps saying like Uncle I forgot his real name, but yeah, yeah. And then it was like really weird too. Like he's your uncle? That's how? And then it's like she was just making sweet love to him. It's like, oh good lord. So ew.
She's making sweet, loud love to
Right.
God.
And then she said she poisoned her husband and did a lot of things for Littlefinger. It's like, dude, do you know what you got into? And Littlefinger's always looking at his face like, God damn
Yeah,
it.
to me, it's like, now see, that was a big revelation right there.
Right.
You kind of just skip past it, but it's like, that was a major thing, that Littlefinger was responsible for the death of her husband.
Well, she knew that.
yeah,
But she knew that,
but-
though. But she knew that. But she already knew that. It was not no big deal to her, like, because she loved
It was
Littlefinger.
to the audience, dumbass, not to her. Of course she knew it because she was in on it.
I know that, but come on. I don't think that's stupid. Or are they?
I think we're getting into a little bit of the revelation of how Littlefinger has become or at least gained the power that he has gained, is possibly through this Lissa Stark or Lissa Tully. I think that is how he's consolidated his power, is basically by taking advantage of this crazy woman.
Yeah, essentially.
And so pretty much by him in the ass in the end. It's like, yeah, she's really, really crazy.
But she's not exactly disagreeing with him. She's not exactly fighting him either. So, I mean,
Right.
is it really taking advantage when she actually knows that what he's doing, and she's okay with it anyway?
It's called manipulation, so it is kind of like taking advantage of her and her kindness and pretty much her love for him. So yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, I actually agree. It's like, I mean, it still is somewhat manipulation because he's taking advantage of her state of mind.
Right.
Because
And
she
she's
is not of her right mind, and he absolutely is.
It was just
I would say, other than Tyrion Lannister, he's probably the smartest person on the show.
he's like the only person who's actually sane that actually you would like to hang around with than everyone else, because everyone's batshit crazy, literally.
I would have to agree. I think the top 3 smartest people on the okay, now I'm thinking 4. Top 4 smartest people on the show: Tyrion, Tywin, not in any particular order, Varys, and Littlefinger.
Yep.
Yeah, Varys I agree with. And Tywin, I actually kind of forgot about Tywin.
Tyrion, he's very, very smart.
And then in there is somewhere is Daenerys's lapdog. I mean, best friend. I mean, him. That
Sir Friend Zoned.
yes,
Right.
sir.
So who's the most gullible one besides Hodor in this show?
I don't think Hodor is gullible at all.
Well, he's not that bright, but that's not fair though. Right. So who do you think is pretty much gullible in the whole show together?
It's
Right now, probably Tommen.
well, that's true too.
Yeah.
That's true
He's
too.
fucked. He's so fucked. Like, dude, you're gonna get manipulated all throughout your life. I feel sorry for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're the nice kid. Your brother was actually a dick.
But no, getting back to is like, I don't believe y'all don't understand the significance of this. The significance of Littlefinger being responsible for the poisoning of Lissa's husband is that because previously in the show, like a couple of seasons ago, it was insinuated that the reason that he was absolutely poisoned, but it was insinuated that it was Cersei Lannister that did it in order to protect the knowledge that Joffrey, that her children basically were not true heirs to the throne.
So that means that Littlefinger absolutely does know that that Tommen / and Joffrey are not heirs to the throne, and he might actually have proof.
Yeah, and also the letter that she wrote to Caitlyn, way back when, where that
That's
encouraged
right.
her to capture Tyrion. That was Littlefinger too. He was responsible for all of that. That's why that was significant, and neither one of you noticed it. Wow.
That's just it. Is I didn't notice the conversation in which Littlefinger actually interrupted Lissa talking about it.
Right.
But I didn't catch it at that time. Like I knew it was happening, but I didn't get the reference at the time, and I figured that I'd get back to it, and I never did.
Ah, gotcha.
I knew it was something big, but I thought like, because
He says after he completely blew it off earlier.
Hey, look, it was Littlefinger for God's sake. He's Littlefinger. He'll do anything for his own game. So it wasn't like a big shock.
Don't worry, Isaiah. I'll be here to explain the complicated things to you. Don't have to worry about it, buddy.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, Littlefinger actually got a title, his first title. I guess, at least I assume, because of the fact that Alyssa Tully's, whose name I forget, Alyssa Tully's husband ended up dying. He ended up taking up that particular title, making
John Aaron.
Making him, yeah. And he didn't have a title in the first season and a half or so.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he ended up getting it.
Yeah, so he's manipulated all of these events. All of them. It's like, I mean, everything up to and including Ned's death in season 1, which we all knew he had a hand in that.
Yeah,
but we never understood is like how far back he had planned all of this shit.
Right. So is it safe to say Littlefinger is more smarter than Tyrion and his father?
God, he really said that. More smart.
Well,
I said it. Thank you.
Littlefinger would never use the phrase "more smarter." I'll just put it that way.
More clever. How about that? More clever.
More clever. More clever.
Yes, that. Does that say stuff and things like stuff and?
Yeah, he uses his smartiest.
Yeah, which is a superpower. And Matt, it's true. That is a superpower. Intelligent and being clever someone is a superpower. Okay, it's a superpower. Moving on.
No, he's trying to troll me right now. He's trying to troll me. He's referring to whether or not Batman is a superhero, whether or not Batman has superpowers.
Which he does.
That's what he's referring to. But I'm not going to respond directly to him. I'm just going to inform the audience exactly what he's referring to.
Yeah, but he's going to respond. Either way. He always does.
No, I will after the hangout is over.
See?
Oh, that's going to be a future conclave conversation. I can already see it.
No, it's been a conclave. That's where it started.
I imagined it, and it probably will become it again, particularly with Gotham coming up.
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Oh, here comes
I wish we knew what day Gotham was going to be on, but that has nothing to do with Game of Thrones.
No, it doesn't.
We should probably jump back into it then. Let's see. One of the only things we haven't discussed yet is Brienne and her new bestest buddy, Podrick.
Oh, yeah, they seem to be getting along so well.
Yeah, they're getting so much great. Like, yeah, they're best of friends.
Yeah.
I know this was a deleted scene. I actually watched this on YouTube. I saw a deleted scene between them, and it was like at the end of their conversation, they both jump up at the same time and do a high five. I swear that was supposed to be the show. They just
Absolutely.
Hey, you never know.
That seems legit. Meanwhile, it's like, I mean, Brienne looks like she went to the Jaime Lannister school of being a pleasant traveling companion.
Yeah.
But, but it's like, you got to give it. It's like, I kind of understand where she's coming from. It's like, because for a squire, Podrick doesn't seem to know much. Like, I mean, even the simple thing like riding a horse, he's just kind of.
You know how to cook, though. It's like, you know how to cook, dude? Oh, you're going to starve to death now.
Now, I have a question. Have either one of you ever ridden a horse?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. So can you imagine what his ass and jangly bits feel like right about now?
I'm surprised he could even sit down.
Right.
I'm very shocked that he could sit down. It's like, when you're doing it right. It doesn't feel great.
No.
When you're doing it wrong, it hurts like hell.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's just it. Is the pain comes from multiple sources because you're rubbing everything raw. And then you're hitting constantly. Like, seriously, there are multiple pains going on after an hour of that shit, let alone 8 to 16 hours of that shit.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like, okay. It's like, for you guys out there, it's like, if you've never ridden a horse incorrectly or correctly or whatever, I'll give you a way to have that same experience. Like take a hairbrush, like a simple hairbrush, and start just smashing yourself in the balls with it for like an hour or two.
It's just like that, but softer.
Yeah, hit yourself in the balls softly with the hairbrush.
Well, yeah, don't like ram it. Just.
Hey now, it's kind of like a porno preference, so we're gonna keep that a little low key now.
Yeah.
Just gently tap yourself in the balls for an hour.
Yeah.
With a very hard.
Just a tip.
Yeah, and then get up and start trying to walk around.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, if you and also make sure that your inner thighs somehow are completely and totally raw. Like
right.
That's a big part of it as well.
Take fine sandpaper and just rub it on the inside of your thighs for 10 minutes per thighs. The fine sandpaper, not the coarse stuff. You're not trying to give y'all motherfuckers abrasions and shit. Just
we better stop before Deanna gets us all arrested for doing stupid shit.
Probably. It's like, I'm told to do some shit. It's like, we're totally gonna get sued. Some fucking parent is gonna walk into his 12-year-old son's room, and then 12-year-old's gonna be in bed like fucking nailing himself in the balls with a fucking fucking brush. Why are you doing that? Well, I was watching Geeks in the Round, and Deanna told me to do it. Yep, I can see that coming. It's like, I'm going to check my mail. That little lawsuit's probably going to be here by fucking Friday.
I can see it now. It's going to be all
That
testimony.
shouldn't have said shit.
Oh, God.
We need to put a little warning at the beginning of this episode, after the Geeks Around intro, and then before we actually talk, saying, don't be a dumbass. That's the only warning.
Okay, we're not jackass, okay? We're not jackass, so we don't need to put that out.
No, that's just it, is we don't have to do the whole, don't try this at home, only professionals. No, all we have to do is put, don't be a dumbass. That's it.
Well, no, see, it's like, I assume, and I don't go there, I know, but I assume that the majority of our audience actually aren't dumbasses. Now, if you are a dumbass and want to try this stuff at home, have at it.
I'm sorry, but one of our panelists is a dumbass. I'm not going to name names.
No, he's not a dumbass. He's special.
You're talking about Charles or me, or talking about us both? Because it's kind of be both. We're kind of like that. It's like a tag team.
By both of you combined, you could possibly elevate to being a dumbass.
Hey, that's why you love us, though. We're like,
but separate, I don't know. That's like caution to the wind.
Charles and Isaiah are actually the Wonder Twins.
Exactly. What is
they totally are, dude.
Activate. Full of a bucket of water. No, in fact, it doesn't do shit.
They are totally y'all are totally two halves of the same whole. But it's like, we should probably get back into actually talking about Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So Brian and.
We forgot one thing. I'm sorry, but we forgot.
What's his name?
Oh my God,
Podrick.
Podrick. Why did I think Johan? Yeah, they're not getting along. Podrick doesn't know how to do simple Squire things. Brienne calls him on it, goes, hey, what can you do? And Podrick basically goes, oh, I can pour wine.
You suck.
What Podrick did not say is, you can start the censor bar right now. I have a huge penis, and I can pleasure you in ways that you would never, ever understand.
Speaking of that, we forgot about Sansa's daughter. They actually talked about that very briefly in the show.
Sansa doesn't have a daughter.
But you know the other one. You know Tyrion's sister. You know, I get those two names confused. Okay? They both have
you get Tyrion's sister, Cersei, mixed up with Sansa.
Yes, the name.
So wait a second. So all this time you've been talking that Sansa's the one that you think can kill Joffrey?
Hey, you never know. You never know.
I'm so
never
confused.
Know.
No, Isaiah, you don't know. Everyone else knows.
That's it, but
Everyone else is perfectly aware. It's Isaiah that doesn't know.
I'm gonna have to use that from now on. Anytime he says "you never know," it's gonna have to be like, "No, what? No, you know what? You never know.
Yeah.
We know."
Exactly. But anywho, yes, they talked about her daughter very briefly.
He's agreeing with it. It's like, yes.
Yeah, well,
I have no knowledge of all of you guys are perfectly aware of because.
Right. Well,
anyway, go on.
That's true.
You were saying about wait, Are you talking about Sansa or Cersei? Now I forgot.
Cersei.
Okay.
We're talking about her daughter very quickly, and she said she's actually doing fine. She's happy and actually having a good life.
I was gonna say in the actual storyline, we talk about Cersei's daughter, but when it comes to the actual storyline, it's almost as if she doesn't have a fucking daughter.
Right.
The only ones we actually see are her sons.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like Tyrion shipped her daughter out in what was that? Season 3, and that was about it.
Yes. It was like, okay, bye-bye. Have a nice, we're never going to see you again.
Uh-huh. Might be the only motherfucker that survives all this shit.
Right. Everyone's all dead and gone. Assassinations.
Alright, so, wild speculation. I'm disqualified, but you guys can have at it.
Oh, that reminds me. Where the fuck is Knuckles?
Yeah, that's a good question. Oh, wow. It's been so quiet, too.
My wild speculation is that Daenerys is not going to cross the Narrow Sea, possibly ever. And if she does, it's going to be the very last, like, half of the last season.
Oh, well, that's like the total opposite of your last week's wild speculation.
Well, I don't remember what that was.
Not that there was going to be this massive clash between Daenerys and her. And
No. My last week's speculation was that was an example of how that could happen. My last week's speculation was more that there was going to be a great war which would combine the Seven Kingdoms, and I was using that as an example. It very easily could be the White Walkers as easily as it could be Daenerys.
Okay, all right, that makes sense.
Okay.
But yeah, it's like, I actually agree with that. Because this is actually something I can't speak on because I do not know. It's like I'm ahead of where the show is in the books, but I'm not that far ahead. So it's like, I mean, that does seem pretty likely to me. What about you, Isaiah?
I'm gonna piggyback off of Matt, but I'm gonna say, like, instead of her going to King's Landing, I think she's gonna, like, go to going from the bottom up and going from the top. I mean, going from the bottom going to the top. Like, you know, the Seven Kingdoms, right? So instead, like, start from the bottom. Start with the first one, then start with the second one, and then you see we all go down like with like dominoes. So it's gonna start from small and then go to big before she gets to King's Landing, and then we get to the whole epic clash and whatever. So you see dragons start cracking on people for fun and everything else.
Well, she was going from the smallest to the biggest. She would be going in the reverse order. King's Landing is pretty much the furthest thing south.
Exactly. You see, you confuse the enemy by doing something that you didn't see before coming. So boom.
You do understand that confusing the enemy is not the same as confusing you, Isaiah, right?
Right. Just because you're confused.
Hey, you never know because, hey, I get confused a lot. And we all don't know
you
what
don't say! And that's the perfect note to go ahead and wrap this show up on. Hey, if you guys like what we're doing, it's like, don't forget to go ahead and rate us, comment, subscribe to us so you never miss an episode. youtube.com/geeksandaround. If you have anything for us, you can send us an email, geeksandaround@gmail.com. And we encourage you to join the Geeks Around community so you can have all these fun discussions and whatnot with all of us and the entire rest of the 200-some-odd member crew. You'll find a link for that down in the description for this video. My name is Deanna Jackson. We will see you next week for episode 406.